I, 27-year-old male, haven't spoken or seen my brother Kevin in 5 years. I barely speak to our parents or anyone in the family. When I was 22 and Kevin was 25, I found out that my girlfriend of 3 years was having an affair with Kevin. I broke up with her and moved back into my parents' place, showing my parents the proof of the affair. After a month of ignoring Kevin's attempts to reach out and being cold when he would come around to apologize, my parents told me it was time to forgive him. They even went as far as to stage an intervention with my ex, Kevin, and extended family, to give me reasons why I should forgive them, especially Kevin. All this did was hurt me more. I told him what they did was unforgivable, especially when it came to Kevin because he was my brother. I looked up to him. I would have done anything for him. We were really close, and he betrayed me in the worst way. A couple of months after that, I got the chance to get far away from them and took it. I went no contact with Kevin and my parents. For the last couple of months, I've been in contact with a cousin because my grandmother has been having health issues, and it got worse, so I went back to visit her in the hospital. On the way out, I unfortunately ran into Kevin. He wanted to talk, but I pretended I didn't know him, and he started to cry, saying he was sorry and he wanted to have a relationship. I told him he must have mistaken me for someone else and left. My cousin then called me later saying Kevin had a really bad mental breakdown about what happened. Apparently, ever since I cut contact with him, his mental health has declined a lot. Then my parents called me and begged me to see Kevin, that being there for him would give him peace of mind. They pressured my cousin into giving them my number. I told them I wasn't going to do that. Mom started crying, saying she wanted her family back, that she wanted her sons to be close again. I told her that Kevin, her, and Dad ruined that I didn't care about them anymore. My dad then asked if we all sat down, talked, and apologized for all the hurt we caused each other, that things could be the way they were before. I said I didn't want to talk, and I have nothing to apologize for. The next day, my dad called, and I could tell he was crying. He said Kevin tried swallowing a bunch of pills. Apparently, they told Kevin what I said, and it pushed him over the edge. My parents found him in time, and now he's in the hospital. They think I can make his mental health better if I just have a relationship with him again. But I don't want one. I don't feel it's fair to put his mental health on me. I don't even know how I would even help him, when every time I think of him, all I feel is rage, hurt, and betrayal. He's my brother, but I just don't want anything to do with him. So, am I the idiot for not wanting anything to do with my brother? Comment 1. If my brother had sex with my girlfriend, I would never speak to him again. If my parents made me have an intervention with my brother and ex, I would feel humiliated and don't know if I would speak to my parents again either, at least not for a long time. I don't think you need to feel responsible for Kevin just because he's your brother. It does not mean he suddenly deserves forgiveness for having an affair with your girlfriend. Him being your brother just makes the betrayal even worse, not the idiot. Comment 2. Nope, I have a brother like this. He didn't sleep with my girlfriend or anything. If you did accept him back, there's a possibility that he would use suicidal threats as a way to get what he wants. Anytime any inconvenience happened to my brother, he would threaten suicide, and I just completely cut him off. Comment 3. OP, you didn't say, but is your first name Prozac? Not the idiot. My sibling pulled a stunt like that, pills, and I was urged to be there. I was 32 weeks pregnant. They didn't know that. I had cut them out for other reasons. I realized that that's all they saw me as, Prozac to fix their golden child. Now for the next story. Backstory. I, F, and fiancé, M, have broken up over this. Need some impartial opinions if I am the idiot. I am very insecure about my weight and put on over 10 kilograms through COVID, work stress, and grief. I received an ultimatum in July from my fiancé that if I didn't lose 4 kilograms by my birthday yesterday, the wedding at the end of this year is off, and demanded to know what my starting weight was. I was really distressed, sad by this at the time of request that I couldn't even engage with him for a week. I even saw a psychologist to help me process it. I eventually cracked and told him my weight, 76 kilograms. We don't live together. I work really hard and lose 5 kilograms in about 5 weeks. Yesterday was my birthday, the weigh-in day. He came over to visit. First thing in the morning, I want to get this over with, still upset by the whole experience, and I stood on the scale in my PJs with my weight coming in at just over 70 kilograms, which he looks at and verbalizes. He weighs himself, then asks me to come back and re-weigh myself in front of him without any clothes on. I refuse. My reasoning was that I already felt humiliated and I was mentally only prepared to do it once, which in my mind I did. He thinks I'm the idiot because I refused to do something that was important to him. I think he's the idiot for making me go through this experience. I texted a single trusted friend who gave me some reassuring words, essentially that I'm not crazy and this isn't my fault, which I shared with him, not saying who the friend, F, was. He thinks that is not impartial and I'm bad-mouthing him. We broke up over my refusal to reweigh myself in front of him without clothes on. I know people who are impartial. The internet. Am I being unreasonable? The in not doing something that was important to him? Am I for refusing to weigh myself in front of my partner? Now, here are the comments. Comment 1. Utaf, this man is a scumbag and you dodged a huge bullet. If he doesn't love you exactly as you are, you should go and find someone who does. Women's bodies, and men's too, but especially women's, change all the time throughout life, with hormones, childbirth, age, everything. Someone who really loves you for who you are wouldn't care about a few pounds, or more than a few. Caring about your health, yeah, but the way you look, that's nobody's business but your own. I've gained and lost, and gained again, way more than 5 kilograms during my marriage. My DH has never once faltered in thinking I'm the sexiest woman alive, regardless. Find someone who treats you like the queen you are and who would never dream of humiliating you or making you feel less than, and leave this judgmental and cruel piece of poop firmly in your past. You deserve so much better than him. ETA judgment, not the idiot. Also, losing 6 kilograms in 6 weeks, assuming beginning of July was when he first gave this ultimatum, is really unhealthy. If you are going to lose weight, please do it slowly. It's better for you. Comment 2. And look at that. You just lost over 70 kilograms of dead weight. He was an albatross. Move on and find someone who will love you for you, no matter how much you weigh. He was pathological. Imagine what would have happened if you'd gotten pregnant or old. Weight piles on later in life sometimes. What a small-minded wretch of a human. You are lucky you got away. Congratulate yourself for having limits and standards. You are not the idiot. Comment 3, not the idiot. Him obsessing over your weight is weird, and trying to force you to strip naked and weigh yourself in front of him is controlling and abusive. Weight loss can only ever be a personal journey. For many, it brings up trauma, and for everyone, it is a journey of highs and lows as weight yo-yos. I think you need to seriously reevaluate your relationship with him. He is very obviously an idiot and you are not. Now, for the next story. My husband, 38-year-old, and I, 42-year-old, have been together for 7 years. Married for 5. We have a son together who is 4. We love each other. I respect my husband's opinion, but ultimately I'm the one to decide over my body. An acquaintance of mine and his husband have a small gymwear company, and now they have expanded with swimwear and underwear. It is not a very well-known company, but apparently they do well. Now they asked me to model for their underwear line. They're having models of different ages, etc. When I told my husband, I didn't expect him to fly off the handle. He was very angry and told me I was not allowed to do it. I'm sorry, but no? Yeah, asterisk. I don't want my body out there for everyone to see. Asterisk. I mean, what does he even mean? I always wear bikinis on the beach, so what's the difference? Every woman wears bikinis and underwear. Am I the idiot to tell him that he doesn't decide over my body? Now, here are the comments. Comment 1. To repeat what some others said already, you have every right to do what you want with your body. He has every right not to be okay with it. 2. I'm going to jump to an exaggerated example of such a thing, mentioning first so you don't think I'm saying they're totally the same thing. Say you got an offer to do porn. Legal, paid porn. You're allowed. He does not have to be okay with that. So not porn, but got an offer to do a much more sexually charged modeling job. Maybe not even adult model level of nudity, but clearly partial nudity. Or even PG-13 nudity, but an obvious sexual overtone. Now a step away from that is your modeling in underwear, swimwear. So, to re-clarify, they are not the same thing. But clearly, there's a line being drawn somewhere on what's considered acceptable. And that line is different for different people. There are people out there who would be absolutely 100% comfortable with their significant other doing porn. There are people who would not be comfortable modeling at all, even if their significant other didn't have an issue whatsoever. He doesn't get to dictate what you do with your body, But he is your husband, and if he's uncomfortable with it, it frankly doesn't matter who on the internet sides with you or him. People have different lines they draw. You need to talk to him and come to an understanding. That understanding might be an agreement, a compromise, or an ultimatum. But neither one of you is automatically 100% in the right or the wrong here. A conversation is necessary, and an understanding should be reached. Comment 2. I would be flattered by such an offer. However, I wouldn't accept it without discussing it with my husband. If he is not 100% supportive of my body being shown for others to see, I would pass on this. One temporary gig wouldn't be worth rocking my marriage. Did you tell him you got the offer? Or did you tell him you are doing it, regardless of what he said, because it's your body? There is a difference. Also, would you be okay if the roles are reversed? I would assume that a monogamous man wouldn't be happy with the idea of other people seeing his wife with clothing. That leaves nothing to the imagination. Comment 3. I'm going to go out on a limb and say this is probably not a word-for-word summary of exactly what was said. And the specific words used are pretty important here. But overall, he can be uncomfortable with it and ask you not to. You have no obligation to listen to him. But when couples completely ignore each other's wishes out of spite, it tends to hurt the relationship. Like with everything else, you're free to do it. But you're not free from the consequences of doing it. Now, for the next story. My 37-year-old male, 15-year-old son is gay. My wife and I are fully supportive of him. I thought my family was too, but now I doubt that. They have been staying at my house for a few days, since it's been a little while since we've seen each other in person. Everything was going great until yesterday. I was out running errands when my son called me crying and asked me to come home. I asked what was wrong, and he said he would tell me when I got home. I rushed home, and my son was in his room crying. I was worried and asked him what was wrong. He told me that while I was gone, my parents kept telling him that he needs to find a girl to date and how it's wrong for him to be attracted to boys. That really pissed me off. Not only did they basically tell my son to not be gay, but they did it behind my back. I confronted my family about it, and they admitted it. They said they just want what's best for my son and how he can find someone like my wife. I really didn't appreciate that comment, and we argued over it, and I ended up asking them to leave. They stormed out and now keep calling me a jerk. I'm conflicted. I really think I was in the right as I was defending my son, but their reactions are making me worry that I overreacted. Am I the idiot? Now here are the comments. Comment 1. Don't be conflicted. You did the right thing on multiple fronts. You protected your son, first and way foremost. He's young, he's vulnerable, and he shouldn't be faced with bigotry from his own family anytime, let alone where he is in life. Good for you, and that needed to be done. Smaller, way smaller scale, but still important. And you protected yourself. Your decisions as parents may be right, like this one to support your son, and may sometimes be wrong, other times too. But you are his parent. You make those decisions. They undermined everything you'd built and how you built it, and that isn't acceptable. They can have a conversation with you. They do not undermine how and what you do to help them become adults directly with your children. Your family was offensive in about every way they could be, in short. You were not the idiot. Comment 2. Your parents, your son's grandparents, went behind yours and your wife's back, told your son basically to stop being himself. No, you did what you needed to do by protecting your son. He's never going to forget what your parents said to him. Also, he's never going to forget that you, his dad and mom, stood up for him and protected him. Personally, I'd be going no contact with them. What they did is an absolute disgrace, not the idiot. Comment 3. Not the idiot. Your parents intentionally waited until you were out of the house so they could bully your child without you knowing about it. It was a pure power play, and they intentionally boundary stomped. You should consider no contact. They are not safe people. They are bigots. And not only that, bigots who refuse to respect your parenting. If you like this video, you'll probably like these too. Also, while you're here, please consider subscribing. It's your support that keeps this channel alive and allows me to make better and longer videos. Have a great day.